What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with another brand new review for Divorce Sistas Season 1, Episode 4. This episode was titled Line in the Sand. Now, before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss episode 4 of Divorce Sistas, shall we? All right, you guys, so I don't know if this is episode 4 or if it's episode 5, but I know the notes for episode 4 are very short. One of these episodes, it was extremely long, repetitive dialogue. And I can't remember which episode it was, and I'm pretty positive it has to be this episode, episode 4, because these notes are extremely short. But even episode's 5 notes are short. No, it was episode 5, because it had a lot of repetitive dialogue, and I think episode 4 did too. There was just a lot of repetitive dialogue because they kept repeating the same things in different ways, and it's just like, oh my God, can y'all say something else? So this episode, it opens up where we ended with Naomi showing up to the banquet drunk as a skunk, right? And she got a different dress on because she said that they ruined her dress. I was like, how did they? Well, you ruined your dress because you got in your car and your train was hanging out. But I'm glad you changed dresses because I like this dress that you got on better than that last dress, right? So she comes in drunk as hell. She notices Javon. She's like, oh, who are you? I'm Naomi. I'm single. I was like, yeah, Naomi. He ain't here for you, baby girl. So Jeff is asking Rashida, like, can you get your girl to leave? I was like, huh? But okay, Jeff. So then, Naomi's asking, y'all talking to her? Are y'all talking to her? Talking about the white girl, right? And so Naomi told actually when she was talking to Jeff, right? Because when Jeff asked Rashida twice to get Naomi to leave, and she said she don't need to do anything. I was like, you know what, Naomi? You may be drunk, but that is something that I absolutely agree with you about. Because here's my thing with you, Jefferson. Rashida asked you multiple times, were you inviting Franklin to this fucking event? You never told Rashida if you were inviting Franklin. If she knew you were inviting Franklin, she could have avoided this happening. She really could have avoided, well, as best as she could. But she could have tried to avoid this. So, Jefferson, sit your ass over there and shut up, right? So then Franklin and White Trash over here, they would have had my fist permanently planted to their faces because they start antagonizing her, right? Because also they noticed the earrings, and they were like, the earrings. And so they started antagonizing her, and so mostly Franklin's raggedy ass. And I'm like, Franklin, here's my thing with you, Franklin. If you so over Naomi, why do you have to fuck with her? Why do you have to fuck with her and uplift this trailer park trash over here? But okay, whatever, right? So Javon is like, you know what? You are so beautiful. I'm a photographer. Like, can I take your pictures? And she was like, and he showed her. He took his phone out and showed her some of his pictures. He said, and I would like to take some of you too, Tiffany. And so Tiffany and Naomi agreed. Here's another part of the repetitive dialogue because Tiffany said to him at least twice, I know what you're doing. He was like, what am I doing? She's like, I know what you're doing. Thank you. I know what you're doing. Thank you. I was like, girl, if you say that one more fucking time, I'm going to reach for this television screen and slap the shit out of you. Say, I know what you're doing one more time. So we get the auction started, right? Now, I don't remember what the first item was, but the first item, it went and it sold for $50,000. I was like, okay. I mean, I know that these are rich people, so cool. So then The next item up was a Bible. I was like, okay. I was like, a Bible? I mean, I get that this is a church banquet, but girl, a Bible? Girl, a Bible? Unless Jesus himself, no. About okay, but whatever. The next thing was the Bible. So then after the Bible was this painting, and I kept looking at that painting in episode 3. I was like, why is this painting just sitting here? I didn't realize that it was a part of the auction, and I didn't even because I kept noticing that painting. I just was like, something because they kept looking at the camera kept panning to that painting. I was like, there's something with this painting. I was like, I don't know what it is, but there's definitely something with this painting. So then after that, Franklin decides to get his raggedy, dusty, trifling ass up there. And he has something that he wants to say. I said, what do you have to say, sir? This is where he pissed me off. And this is where I realized you trying to make this little trailer park trash hoe feel good about herself, right? So he gets up, he's talking about the painting, he says, he's talking about the painting. He's, like I said, he's uplifting his trailer park trash hoe and tearing Naomi down at the same time, talking about, my ex-wife, devil, this, she was, I can't stand her. I regret the day that I married her and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, and she's turning my son against me. I'm pretty sure you're doing a stand-up job of that yourself, right? So then he talks about the paintings. So the paintings are something that Naomi's brother did. Naomi's brother was addicted to heroin. If I'm correct or wrong, y'all could correct it. Then he was like, her brother passed away of an overdose. And when the brother passed away, his art increased in value. So this painting is like, I think he said worth $1.2 million. Now, mind you, he says he don't give a damn about the painting, but he just wants to get rid of it. I was like, well, if you want to get rid of it, why do you? And this is where I was confused at. How the fuck did he get her brother's paintings in a fucking divorce? These have to be gifts from her brother. How the hell does Franklin have these paintings? So the auctioneer, she starts the bidding. She says, okay, who wants to bid on this? We'll start the auction. He said, started at $5. I said, you motherfucker. So then she said, okay, anybody got 5? So people started everybody started raising their hands. She said, anybody got 10? So everybody started raising their hands. She said, anybody got 20? People started raising their hand. Anybody got 30? He said, Stop. Keep it at 10. Only 10. I was like, I just want to just pow Franklin in that moment. So then Tiffany says 20,000. Somebody outbid her. 30,000. Somebody outbid her. 40,000. 50,000. Nope. No. I want it. $5 million. And so going once, going twice. So to the bastard right here that needs a bullet between his eyes. Sold to this bastard. He said, well, I mean, if it's really important to somebody, then, they wouldn't mind bidding on it. Maybe, $37 million. Kind of like what my wife got in a divorce settlement. I said, oh, Franklin, you bitch. I would have had to tell that hoe to square up with me. Because he would have to fight. He would have to fight me. He would have had to fight. Yeah, we would have had a fight. So, So Naomi is pissed at this point, right? And rightfully so. And so Naomi's like, you know what? I'm just going to go home. I said, Naomi, baby, that's best. But before you leave, punch this hoe. Eat this hoe. Slap this hoe. Do something to this hoe before you leave. And I guess Naomi heard me. Because I was literally saying that while I should do a watch along, a live watch along. If I have a Patreon, I need to set that thing up because y'all would have cracked up laughing watching me react to this shit because I kept saying either punch that hoe, eek that hoe, pow that hoe, slap that hoe, punch that hoe, kick that hoe, trip that hoe. Like every hoe came out of my mouth and everything physical was about that hoe. Now when I was saying hoe, I really meant Franklin. I meant Franklin. But I didn't care about the other hoe either, right? So I guess Naomi heard me, but she heard the wrong hoe. Cause she took that. Oh, I forgot to mention. So they were trying to sober Naomi up, right? And so they had brought a cup of coffee to her. The coffee got cold, right? So she asked Bridget to bring her the pot of hot coffee, right? So they poured it in the cup, right? I don't think she ever drank it. So Naomi grabs the pot of coffee. Now, mind you, let's be realistic. That coffee should be cold because it's not on the burner. So it should have been cold because they had been sitting there for a good few minutes, right? But either way it go, she grabbed the pot of coffee, yeah, just doused it on that hoe. Franklin! I was like, girl, you are doing well. I mean, her back is on fire, so I was like, okay, can we move on to the next scene? Because I don't care about this bitch with, what burns on her body. So let's pause here, you guys, and let's move forward. Naomi got arrested. The group is together, and they trying to figure out what to do, right? So Bridget is going to take William home, whereas not Naomi, but Geneva and Tiffany are going to go check on Naomi. Rashida wanted to go check on Naomi, but Jefferson's over here like, you're gonna go check on her? He just gave us $5 million. He just donated $5 million to us for our church, and his wife got burned. So we should go check on them. I was like, I think the fuck not. I would not go check on that girl, her. So Jefferson is trying to guilt her into going. I was like, Rashida, girl, no. Go check on your friend. So Javon was like, you know what? I'll go with them, right? So it's gonna be Javon, Geneva, and Tiffany going to check on Naomi, and William is going to go home. Bridget's gonna take William home. Not Franklin, but Jefferson and Rashida are going to go to the hospital. Now, Jefferson is telling Rashida to ride with Myron. I was like, ride with Myron? First of all, why is Myron here? Then we see Myron's wife. He was like, baby, I'll be home later. I was like, huh? This ain't got nothing to do with you, Myron. Like, go home, Myron? But okay, whatever. So, y'all, when I tell y'all this scene with Rashida and Jefferson irritated me, actually, let's put a pin in that one real quick, because I just realized I ain't, actually, it ain't really much to say. Oh, no, I covered that. So Rashida and Jefferson, right? They on their way to the fucking hospital, right? And she mentions the way that Myron looks at him. And he was like, don't go there, Rashida. I was like, well, I mean, let's be real. The man do give you those loving eyes. He was like, his wife was there. And she was like, he barely paid her any attention. I said, he sure did hell did, because, bitch, I didn't even know that woman was at that event until he said something to her. Because let's go back to the table. Everybody who was sitting at the table, the wife wasn't fucking there. At one point, when Rashida them left to go, when Rashida and what's her name, Geneva left. Oh, also I forgot to mention this in the last episode, so we can talk about this here. That when Geneva and Rashida were in the back talking, right? Tiffany came back there. Tiffany wanted to know what was going on because Tiffany had to pee, but they were like, they played her to the left, right? And this is all Geneva keeps doing in this episode, and the next episode is playing Tiffany to the left, right? So she's like, his wife was there, but he didn't pay no attention to her, and he didn't, because when Rashida was in the back, he was sitting in Rashida's seat, and Rashida came back, and she was like, did you drink out of my water? He said no, and he got up. But again, his wife wasn't sitting there. That table was already cramped as fuck, right? The people who were sitting at that table: William, Naomi, Geneva, Tiffany, Javon, Franklin, the white hoe, Bridget. Y'all, I forgot to mention that what's his name came up to the table. I ain't got much to mention about Vaughn because Vaughn gets on my nerves. But that table was cramped as hell. And no mention of his wife, right? So Jeff's like, that poor girl. And Rashida was like, that poor girl. He was like, yes. Are you judging her? She was like, she had an affair with my friend's husband. She got pregnant. So yes, I am judging her. And so the way that Jeff was talking to Rashida, I was like, Jeff is patronizing the hell out of Rashida. And Rashida said, don't patronize me. I said, I'm glad you caught that. Because the way that he was talking to you, like, he was pretending like it was so superior, but it was like he was pretending like he cares about her. I was like, Rashida, girl, if you don't, girl, tell this man to pull the car over and you call for a ride share. Like, no. So then he tries to tell her that, she needs to not be friends with Naomi. Sir, you were there. Yes, Naomi came in and she was drunk, but you saw that man antagonize the fuck out of her. So what are we talking about here? Jefferson, go to hell. So we see as William got home, right? And we see as Geneva, Tiff, and Javon are at the hospital, are at the precinct, right? Now he also did call. He also did. Actually, Javon called in a favor for them. Him and Tiffany, again, they still hitting it off. She's thanking him, and then you got stank face ass Geneva over here in the passenger seat. He's talking about his photography. He's talking about he took pictures of Geneva, like, and Tiffany's like, can I see them? She's like, I don't know where they are. He's like, oh, they must have been that bad. No, they weren't that bad. I just don't know where. I was like, oh my God. This is oh God, you guys. I cannot believe let y'all get me into another fucking Tyler Perry show. The first two episodes were decent. And then we get to these last three that I watched back to back. And one shit but fucking repetitive dialogue in them. Again, I'm gonna stick with it, you guys, but oh God, the repetitive dialogue. I don't know how much, that part. I don't know how I'm gonna deal with it because it's really a lot for me. Because I can't stand when people. I know I do it sometimes on my channel, repeat myself, and when I be editing my videos, I'm like, JB, you said that way too many times, right? And I try to edit stuff down so that way it's not as bad. And it might not bother y'all, but it does bother me. So the repetitive dialogue, it was just, it goes too far. It just be like, y'all say the same thing and then repeat it again in a few minutes later. So yeah, moving on. Where we at? Now William, him and Bridget, they talking about her and Vaughn. I don't care. Girl, you know Vaughn ain't no good for you. He's a bum. He don't want to work. Again, ain't nothing wrong with him wanting to be a content creator, but at least have some kind of money coming into the house. We're gonna get into episode 5 in a few minutes because he really tried it for me. So we get to the hospital. I would have turned around and walked out, but I realized that Franklin got not William. Y'all's gonna take me a minute to get these names together. But Franklin got Jeff by the balls, right? Because Franklin came out, Franklin was being hella disrespectful. He's calling Naomi a bitch. He even tried to call Rashida a bitch. And Rashida was like, bitch, I got your bitch. And I was like, and you still gonna sit here with this man? And then he even went in there and prayed for him. And only for Franklin to sit there and tell him that, yeah, your wife is friends with that, so I'm not gonna give you the money. I was like, okay, and ugh. So that's the end of episode number 4, you guys. Be sure to like this video, you guys. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which is episode number 5. See you guys then.